Good morning, everyone. I just want to give you an update on what is going on with my Illinois Circuit 19 case. So as you can see right here, I am back in the waiting room, and I don't think she's going to let me back in. So why am I back in the waiting room? Well, Judge Melius absolutely refused any of my court watchers. Plenty of people were sending me screenshots that they were trying to get into the Zoom, and no one was actually allowed in. This is very typical for Judge Melius. She is completely isolating me. She has, in several hearings, pushed my case to the very end of the call, so there was literally nobody left in the courtroom hearing except for myself and her and Will Traberis, completely isolating me from the public. So today, she actually called my case while some people were still there. Attorney Will Traberis did confirm, because he was there for another case, that he was not representing Justin Serlick. And of course, Justin Serlick was not there. So here I am the petitioner. It is my bystander's report, my recollection of what happened to my children and I since September 15th, 2020, when I started my second case against Justin Serlick, 20F422. My first case was 13D981. That was my 2013 divorce. In 2020, I went back to modify that divorce, to add in my fourth child, who was born outside of wedlock, and to modify my child support agreement because Justin was choosing to move from Chicago to Daytona, Florida to live with his parents during the pandemic. And the children and I were going to remain in Lake County, Illinois. And so I filed a second case, 20F422. So this case has been mine since day one. That is the key to all of this. This has been my case against Justin Serlick since day one, not the other way around. So she confirmed in a hearing today that Justin Serlick is not present. Will Traberis confirmed that he is not representing Justin Serlick in this appellant case in Illinois District 2 Court of Appeals in Elgin, Illinois. And that case number is 2-25-0481. That is my appeal against Justin Serlick for this petition for relief and vacatur of the 3-page order, April 27th of 2022, that happened behind my back in my case against Justin Serlick, literally swapping custody. Completely swapping custody. I went from the sole custodial parent, where he had always had full access to my children, never, ever, ever in a million years have ever hidden my children from him, kept his children from him. In fact, I did something most women would never think of doing. I allowed my ex-husband to continue living with my children and I for 7 additional years after our divorce. That's right. This man chose to continue living with his ex-wife for 7 additional years and continued abusing my children and I. So in 2020, during the pandemic, I chose to finally separate myself from him. My children and I went to a domestic violence shelter in Waukegan, Illinois, a safe place. We filed police reports to the guidance of a safe place. And then poof, 2 weeks later, my children vanished from Kitty Cottage Daycare in Fox Lake, Illinois. And then they are trafficked for a year in Illinois DCFS system, and then trafficked down to Daytona, Florida, violating all of my parental rights. I was still the legal custodial parent, full legal custodial parent, when they were shipped down to Daytona, Florida. They arrived in Daytona, confirmed by Elizabeth Tevis of Camelot Care to my attorney in Illinois, August 13th of 2021. Justin Serlick has been hiding my children from me here in Daytona, Florida since August 13th of 2021. We are now going on over 4 years. 4 years and like 3 months. December 6th of 2021 is when I officially arrived down here in Port Orange, Florida, and set up my RV to try to gain access to my children. Justin Serlick had me blocked and everything. I had no way to communicate with him. I knew that if I went to Justin's parents' house at 1048 Chelsea Way in Port Orange, Florida, Ira Serlick is a volunteer and police officer with Port Orange PD. I knew immediately if I ever even attempted to communicate with my children at that address at Mary and Ira Serlick's house, they would call the cops on me for trespassing. So here is a real life situation where children are trafficked because of illegal connections in the court system. And Judge Melius is continuing to protect everyone. So she confirmed that Justin Serlick was not in the hearing today. Will Chabers confirmed that he's not representing Justin. So all she needs to do is just sign my bystanders report, which is my recollection, my legal right to file my recollection of what happened during the entirety of 20F422, which I did. It is available for the public. It is on a Illinois appellant court form, which means it's part of my appeals case. And in Illinois, under Illinois Supreme Court Rule 323C, if there is no verbatim court records, transcripts, recordings, anything, which of course there's not, because why would they record themselves trafficking and selling my children, right? Illinois, which I feel like all states should have this, has what's called a bystanders report, where the party writes down their recollection of what occurred during the entirety of the case, and you write down the dates of the hearings, you write down what judge did it, blah, 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 blah. And then the tribunal court has to certify it, okay? I knew she was going to give me a temper tantrum on not certifying it, because if you read that bystanders report that I wrote, which is 100% factual, I will stand in front of our president and say it's factual, hand on a Bible, hand up in the air, which, by the way, Illinois Circuit 19 Judge Malleus never swears people in. So how do you know if they're actually telling the truth? Because they're the criminals as well. But she's refusing to sign my recollection of what happened. And she informed me before kicking me back to the waiting room, right there. She informed me that she will write her own version of a bystanders report and certify that. That's not what a bystanders report is. So here I am reporting what just happened with Judge Jacqueline Malleus in courtroom 105 of Illinois Circuit 19 in Waukegan, Illinois. And so she is saying that my right to be heard, my right to have a court certify what happened to my children and I is not valid. And she's going to put what she wants to put in the bystanders report. So here's the thing. Read my bystanders report. If the judge had signed off on it, she is actually admitting to exactly what Illinois Circuit 19 judges did to my children and I. Trafficked them. Judge Lombardo, Judge Morosin, Judge Matthews, Judge Marnie Slavin, who signed the 3-page illegal void ab initio order April 27th of 2022, when Justin was already a legal resident of Florida, I was already a legal resident of Florida. Illinois had absolutely zero jurisdiction to swap custody ex parte in a Zoom hearing when both parents are legal residents and have driver's license in another state, and the children in question had already been in Florida for over 6 months. The irony is, before my case was called, she actually, several different cases, at least 2 different cases, I heard her say, we need the UCC JEA report. Yeah, exactly. When there's more than one state involved, you get a UCC JEA report done. There's only one state in the U.S. that does not participate in UCC JEA, and that is Massachusetts. So every other state has signed into this universal UCC JEA to verify jurisdictions. So that alone confirms that Illinois did not have jurisdiction April 27th of 2022 to write that 3-page order swapping custody and reserving my rights, basically a TPR, but without actually being a TPR, and then ordering me to pay him $785 a month in child support that they are now garnishing 60% of here in the state of Florida from my teacher's salary through my school district that I teach for. So, Jacqueline Malleus has refused to sign my recollection of what happened in my case against Justin Serlick, what Circuit 19 has done to myself, what Circuit 19 has done to my children, and she is going to make her own bystanders report and then sign that. That is what she told me before she kicked me back to the waiting room. So there you have it, everyone. Please share this. Illinois Circuit 19 is trafficking Illinois children. And I know all other courts are almost identical to this. But I am exposing this in real time, that Illinois Circuit 19 sold my children to the non-custodial parent, Justin Serlick, swapped custody April 27th of 2022, and then swapped child support from him paying me $585 a month to me all of a sudden paying him $785 a month. This is 100% illegal. This is 100% corruption and illegal activity. This is Judge Melius protecting Judge Marnie Slavin, Michael G. Nurheim, who I can't wait to serve him in U.S. District Court. But essentially, everyone has dipped their nasty little hands in my case, and everybody is protecting each other. Please, if you do not know what a bystander's report is in Illinois, please search Illinois Supreme Court Rule 323C. Look at what those rules state. It is supposed to be my recollection of what happened during the entirety of my case when there is no verbatim transcript available. She is literally saying that I do not have rights to put on my own record in my own case what happened to my children and I since 2020. She is literally silencing me. This is a violation of my Illinois rights. This is a violation of my U.S. constitutional rights. And this is happening to everyone across the entire country. Guys, we need to start exposing these judges that are playing God with our lives. It is heartbreaking what these people are doing to innocent children. There is not a soul can look at my children's grades and the life they lost in Illinois when Illinois Circuit 19 trafficked them down here and tell me any of this was in the best interest of my children. They are all now school dropouts, extreme unexcused absences in Father Justin Serlick's care. If you can even call him a father, there's plenty of amazing fathers out there that are being kept from their children. In my situation, he is absolutely abusing my children, and he should not be the custodial parent. And legally, he shouldn't be. He literally stole my children through this April 27, 2022 three-page order through Mary Serlick and Iris Serlick having connections with Michael G. Nurheim in Illinois Circuit 19 that used to be our state attorney, that was supposed to be investigating and pressing charges for the child abuse that my children came forward with September of 2020 at the Child Advocacy Center in Gurnee, Illinois, where Michael G. Nurheim's name was slapped on the building because he was still our state attorney. Eric Reinhart, where are you? You beat him in that 2020 election, and I have emailed you multiple times about what is happening in your courthouse, and you are ignoring me. This needs to stop. My children need help. My children need tutoring. My youngest daughter, Bianca, cannot even read or write. I have death threats from text messages from my children telling me that if I try to kidnap them, they're going to kill me. Where are they getting that I'm going to kidnap them? I am buried in court documents. I have 3 appellant cases in District 5 Court of Appeals in Daytona, Florida. I have my Florida tribunal case, which is the family case. I now have an appellant case in Illinois District 2 Court of Appeals. And that was what this bystander report was for today. And Judge Melius is continuing to silence me. According to her, I have no rights. She literally just kept muting me. I mean, I'm not even joking. It was mute, 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 mute. Every time I tried to say a word, mute, mute, mute. Now, Pete and I have covered this in our podcast episodes recently. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago where he was pointing out that every time I tried to say a word, she'd mute me in the Zoom. This is exactly how they stole my children in the first place. I was permanently muted in Zoom, so I had no voice whatsoever. I am not a U.S. citizen in their eyes. I am not a human in their eyes. I am just an obstacle that's keeping them from burying what they've done to my children and I. And this is the beginning of my federal case, guys. I've been talking about it all year, filing a U.S. District Court case against everybody involved in Illinois, and then a separate U.S. District Court case against everyone here in Florida that is continuing to enforce a void ab initio, unregistered foreign support order. So now we're coming to the end of 2026. 2026 is federal. All of these people are going to be served in U.S. District Court, in Illinois, and in Florida. So I already know exactly what I need to do to file in Orlando. I will be going per pauper, so they can, or pauperus, how you pronounce it in Latin, so they will be served by U.S. Marshals. So at some point, Mary, Ira, Justin, and Laura Stiles, since you're the one with all the illegal connections to Daytona Courthouse, are all going to be served by U.S. Marshals. Now I am gearing up for war. Now I am taking this federal. Now I am exposing all of this. Guys, this courthouse, Judge Christopher Morosin, October 13th of 2020, put a gag order on me so I couldn't even tell my own father what happened to his grandchildren, or I'd be held in contempt and thrown in jail to silence me that way. And this is a nation. And I am a whistleblower. And I am asking that everyone share my story to start protecting my children. And I will do the same for everybody that can absolutely show me in the same boat as me. I know there are some people out there that tend to pretend like they are in the same boat as me. But if I can take a look at your case and see that you are in the same boat, I am absolutely going to get loud with your case as well. I am so disgusted by Illinois Circuit 19 and what Judge Melius has been continuing to do to me since I filed this petition for relief and vacature in July 17th of 2025 is when I officially filed it. And she has been silencing me, muting me, ordering me to come in person when I'm here down in Daytona, Florida, because they trafficked my children down here to Daytona. This needs to stop. These people trafficking our children belong in prison. This is P. Diddy scandal. This is Epstein scandal. And now we're exposing U.S. Family Court scandal of trafficking children instead. I am so beyond tired of being silenced like I don't have a voice at all. Gag order. Constantly, I mean, literally every 2 seconds you can see on the screen her muting me. So I took to the chat, and then she said that I was typing highly inappropriate stuff in the chat. No, I'm literally saying you're violating my U.S. constitutional rights right now. So according to Judge Jacqueline Melius in Courtroom 105 in Illinois Circuit 19, me stating on the record in the Zoom chat that you're violating my Illinois and U.S. constitutional rights right now by muting me and not allowing me to speak is not appropriate to be putting in the chat. So what she just told me and everyone in that Zoom today is that we don't have rights as U.S. citizens. We don't have rights as Illinois citizens. We are just a number to her. And that woman looks so goddamn miserable. I never see her smile. She's got permanent resting bitch face. Why is she doing what she's doing then? If she's not actually protecting children and protecting Illinoisans, why is she on that bench? What is she getting out of it? Money. Taxpayer money. You guys are all paying her to violate our rights as U.S. citizens. You're paying her. Everyone is paying these public officials to violate our rights. When is this going to stop? I'll tell you when it's going to stop. When we join forces as U.S. citizens and say enough is enough, this is not going to continue happening to us. They are tyrants in black robes, And guys, this is a silent Holocaust. There's no other word for what is happening in our family courts across the nation. This is a silent Holocaust. Please share, please expose, and please send some emails to the appropriate people in Illinois Circuit 19 and Springfield, Illinois. Let's make Judge Jacqueline Melius really wish she didn't have that job. Thank you.